What if I told you that your greatest enemy isn't out there in the world, but staring back at you in the mirror each morning? That voice in your head that whispers, "You can't," isn't protecting you, it's sabotaging your potential. We all carry invisible chains, forged link by link through years of fear and doubt. But what if those chains aren't real? What if you could break free by understanding the ancient wisdom that philosophers and psychologists have known for centuries? Consider the story of Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who ruled Rome at the height of its power. Despite commanding vast armies and unimaginable wealth, he wrote privately in his journal, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." Even as plagues ravaged, his empire and wars threatened its borders. He recognized that his greatest battles weren't fought on distant battlefields, but within his own mind. You're not so different from Marcus. When you procrastinate on that important project, or talk yourself out of taking that risk, or sabotage a relationship just as it's getting good, you're fighting the same internal war. The stakes might seem smaller, but to your nervous system, they're just as real. Psychologists call this self-handicapping, creating obstacles for yourself so you'll have an excuse when you fail. Like the student who doesn't study, so they can blame their poor grade on lack of preparation rather than lack of ability. It's a protection mechanism, but one with a terrible cost. The ancient Stoics understood this pattern. Epictetus, born a slave who later became a renowned philosopher, taught that we suffer not from external events, but from our judgments about them. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters, he insisted. Your brain creates elaborate stories, that you're not good enough, that success is dangerous, that failure is inevitable, and then treats these stories as gospel truth. Think about it. How many opportunities have you missed because of that critical voice? How many times have you sabotaged yourself right before a breakthrough? That promotion you didn't apply for, that person you didn't approach, that idea you never shared. This isn't just philosophical musing, modern neuroscience confirms it. Your brain's primary job isn't to make you happy or successful, it's to keep you safe. It's an ancient survival mechanism, constantly scanning for threats. And in our complex modern world, where social rejection can feel as threatening as physical danger, your brain often chooses the devil it knows, comfortable mediocrity, over the uncertainty of growth. But here's where it gets interesting. This same mechanism that holds you back also holds the key to your freedom. Here's the mind-bending truth. Your self-sabotage is actually trying to protect you. That critical voice doesn't hate you, it's terrified for you. It's the part of you that learned, perhaps when you were just a child, that certain risks lead to pain. If you failed once at public speaking and were laughed at, your brain encoded a powerful message. Never try that again. If your creative efforts were once dismissed, your mind whispered, stay small, stay safe. This is what Carl Jung called the shadow, the disowned parts of ourselves that operate in the dark corners of our consciousness. Until you make the unconscious conscious, Jung warned, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Think about that. What you perceive as your destiny, your limitations, your bad luck, your recurring patterns, might actually be unconscious choices you're making to stay in familiar territory. The ancient Greeks had a concept for this, akrasia, acting against your better judgment. Socrates found this phenomenon so puzzling that he claimed it was impossible. No one would knowingly harm themselves, yet we do it every day, don't we? We know we should save money, but we spend impulsively. We know we should speak up, but we remain silent. We know we should take that chance, but we retreat to safety. Here's the revolutionary insight. Your self-sabotage patterns aren't random. They're precisely engineered to protect your most vulnerable beliefs about yourself. If deep down you believe you're unworthy of love, you'll find ingenious ways to ruin relationships before they can reject you. If you secretly believe success is dangerous, you'll unconsciously create failures when you're on the verge of breakthrough. As Nietzsche provocatively put it, the most common lie is that which one lies to himself. Lying to others is relatively an exception. Your mind would rather maintain a comfortable lie than face an uncomfortable truth. But this realization, painful as it might be, is actually the turning point. Because once you see the pattern, you can never unsee it. And what you can see, you can change. So how do you break free from this invisible prison you've built for yourself? The answer lies in a powerful fusion of ancient wisdom and modern psychology. First, practice what the Stoics called the premeditation of evils. Face your fears directly. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I take this risk? Then ask, could I survive that outcome? Almost always, the answer is yes. This simple practice disarms your brain's catastrophic thinking. Second, adopt what psychologists call cognitive diffusion, the ability to separate yourself from your thoughts. When that voice says you'll fail, don't fight it. Instead, notice it. I'm having the thought that I'll fail. This tiny shift creates space between you and the thought, allowing you to see it as just one perspective, not the truth. Third, embrace the transformative Christian practice of self-confession and prayer. By honestly acknowledging your patterns of self-sabotage before God, you release the burden of your past failures and open yourself to divine forgiveness. This sincere self-examination isn't about shame, but about clarity, recognizing what you want to leave behind and what you aspire to become. Through prayer, you spiritually construct the model of who you wish to transform into, building a vision of goodness while honestly confronting what holds you back. As St. Augustine reflected, "In my deepest wound, I saw your glory." Try this practical exercise. For the next week, keep a sabotage journal. Each time you notice yourself backing away from opportunity or creating obstacles, write it down without judgment. What were you about to do? What stopped you? What story were you telling yourself? This simple act of awareness often breaks patterns that have persisted for decades. Remember, as the philosopher Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Your fears of failure, rejection, or even success are rarely as devastating as your mind suggests. The path to freedom begins with recognizing that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness watching those thoughts. Your self-sabotage patterns weren't built in a day, and they won't disappear overnight. But with each conscious choice, each moment of awareness, you're reclaiming your power from that inner saboteur. You're writing a new story. If you're ready to dive deeper into the wisdom that can transform your mind and break free from self-imposed limitations, hit that subscribe button and join our journey. Because the greatest battle you'll ever fight isn't out there in the world, it's the one for your own potential. What invisible chains are you ready to break today?